Hello and welcome to part 3 of the Shield Impact System tutorials. My name is Travis Treadway, and in the first two videos we covered, firstly we covered the logic in our part 1 video, so how to set up the actual impacts and getting them to work. Then in our second tutorial, part 2, we went ahead and put together a shader on this shield to make it look a lot nicer when it hits all these impacts, and making it really feel like a shield. And then now in part 3, we're going to cover how to get particle systems to spawn when your bullets impact the shield, just to bring it all together. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing you're going to want to do is get up and running inside of Unreal, and then find yourself the folder that you've been working in. And what we're going to do first is create a particle system. So if you are familiar with Niagara, what you do is you right click down here at the bottom of the content browser, scroll up to Effects, and then go down to Niagara System. Now what's cool is Unreal has some templates that we're going to utilize here just to get started with. That way we can actually see our progress really quickly on. So we're going to do a new system from a template. You're going to choose Next. And we want a directional burst. You're going to go ahead and click Finish. That's going to create the system down here. We're going to go ahead and rename this to NS to stand for Niagara System underscore, let's say directional underscore impact. So we're going to have a directional impact system right here. If we double click on that, that's going to open up Niagara for us. Sorry, it opened up on another screen here. Let me pull it over. Perfect. Pull it up here. Awesome. So you're going to have on your screen now a directional impact system. Yay! Real quick, fast particle systems. That's the key here. So go ahead and save that. So we have now this saved inside of our project. And we're not going to do anything with the particle system just yet. Let's go ahead and get into the logic first now that we do have a particle system. All right, now that we have a particle system right here in our project, we're going to go ahead and hop right into the logic here. So we're going to go ahead and open up our blueprint for our shield impact. Same one we've been using to drive all of our functions. We're going to stop playing. We don't need it playing in the background here, and we will have all of our setup. Our scalar parameter values that we're setting over to the shield at the beginning here. We're going to go ahead and at the very beginning, where it says on component hit, the event that's taking place when our bullets fire and hit the shield, it's going to scoot that a little to the left here, and we're going to do a new branch. And in this branch, we're going to create a new node, and it's called spawn system at location. Perfect. That is going to be the function we're using to spawn our particle systems. So now that we have this directional impact system here, what we need to do is just save and then search for our Niagara System directional impact. Cool. That's exactly what we need. We're just going to put that right here in the system template. We want it to spawn at location. The location we want is where it hits. So we'll take the hit location, drop it in. All right, now that we have a location, we just need a rotation. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the hit normal, just plug it right into rotation here. That's going to give us the vector we need for the ricocheting or the impact point for the particle system. And it's going to take that vector and it's going to convert it into a rotator for us so that it's nice and easy and the spawn system at location node is happy. We're going to compile and save. And now we're going to go ahead and press play and make sure our logic works. So we're going to shoot here. Oh, look at that. We're seeing a impact. And that's our particle system that we were looking at earlier. But it looks like it's going the opposite direction of what we wanted to do. So this is a golden opportunity to hop into this particle system and make a few edits. So what you're going to do is press escape or stop play. Then we're going to open up our directional impact system again, the Niagara system. And you'll see that all these bits, all these trails are heading in the opposite direction of what we want. So we're going to take this directional burst. We can go to the add velocity in a cone. All we need to do to get them to go the opposite direction is put a nice little negative value on each of these. And now you'll see the direction has changed. So it's going the opposite way. So if I save, and let's do File, Save All, Control Shift S, then we can go to first person example map, press play, and now we shoot it. We now have our debris headed in the correct direction. Look at that, bouncing off the wall. But it's still a bit lackluster. It's not exactly as powerful as we want it to be. So let's punch it up a bit. All right, so to get started on putting a little bit more punch behind it, what we're going to do is hop right back in that particle system. And I personally don't think that the ribbons are doing a whole lot. Oh, you'll see it's kind of jittery here. The reason it's jittery is because I haven't stopped the simulation. Now when I stop the simulation, I'll have it actually looping here and at the correct frame rate. So I'm going to turn off the location-based ribbons. So now we're not going to have any of those ribbons flying off. And what I want to do is I'm going to go to the spawn, spawn burst instantaneous. This is going to be where it's spawning all the particles. Instead of 20 particles, I want to spawn, let's just go crazy. Let's have some fun. Go up to 60 particles here. So now I'm shooting out 60 particles, and they're all shooting out in a cone. The cone seems rather tight. You want particles that are going left, right, up, down, kind of feel like a total burst here. Shooting at a 48-degree angle. Let's see what 90 looks like. 90 looks a little better, but let's go all the way up to 180. Ooh, okay, a little bit too high. Let's see. Bring it down to a 120. And let's see how that looks. Oh, I clicked off. Back to it. 120. Okay, yeah, that's feeling good. We're getting a lot more burst out. And then if we go in here, we can actually shoot it. Yeah, now we're seeing a little bit more of a burst and blast out. I like it. I like it. We're heading in the right direction. A lot of gravity on this one. So we got a nice little debris area here that's falling off and gives us some good sparks. And we could have some fun with that. If we open this up, do initialize particle. I believe it's set up with an emissive field. So let's try throwing in, yeah, we can get some emissives going. Okay, so purple is more blue than red, about twice the amount of blue than red. And that gives us a nice pink, but let's get a little deeper purple because of how dark our shield is. Now pop back in here. Oh yeah, now we're seeing a little bit more of our style of what we're looking for here. But you'll notice it's falling through the ground. With this debris, I kind of want it to bounce, so let's put some collision on it. We go into the Niagara system again. We save, just because you need to save all the time. Always save. Always save. I can't tell you how much work I've lost to not saving. And we're going to go into, I'm sorry, I'm moving fast here. The particle update node. Press the plus, and you're going to type in collision. So you're just going to click collision here. It's going to have an issue here, and that's because it doesn't have a fixed boundary. So we'll go ahead and press fix issue, which will automatically fix the problem that we had. And now we go back to playing. We shoot the shield. Oh, we have bouncing particles on the ground. Look at that. Yes, that's a lot nicer. I like it. But it still feels not as punchy as I would like it to be. So let's go ahead and add a second system. So now that we have this sort of main system going on, let's go ahead. Oh, can't do it here. Go down here in the bottom left. Click on the directional burst. Right click and go to duplicate. That will add another system, the exact same system. It'll be a directional burst 01. Let's go ahead and rename that to, let's do core blast. We'll make that a lot bigger. This one's going to be our big burst from the center. So what we're going to do, you right click, you can click on space here and move around just like in our shader graph. We are now going to, instead of having them all fall to the ground, I'm going to turn off the collision because I don't really need it here. I'm going to turn off the gravity because I want them just blasting out to the side here. And then I'm going to bring down the count. I don't need to have 60 of these, otherwise they're going to just steal your eye. Oh yeah, we're going to bump these velocity numbers up on the cone. So to the add velocity in cone, we're going to bump it up to, let's do a random value between -1000 and -2000 speed. You'll see now I've got this burst kind of blasting out here. Let's try it here. Boom. Yeah, now we're seeing some kind of blast off of there. Still looking, it's looking a lot nicer now that we have that sort of core function happening. And it's all falling to the ground still on our other system. So we have two systems going on here that look great. So let's go back in. They still seem kind of small, and I don't like that they're all the same size. So I'm going to go to the particle update, press add, and we're going to add a scale by speed. And it is scale sprite size by speed. There it is. Sprite size by speed. Oh, look, there's already one in here for us. So let's go ahead and delete that. Go to the one they have for us. And what we're going to do is we're going to bump these numbers up just a little bit to get it to look the way we want it to. So, sorry, checking my notes here for these golden numbers. All right, perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up that Y value a little bit higher. So now we're seeing our sparks shoot out real high and real large and in charge here, which is going to be fun. Let's hop back in here. Boom. Oh yeah, now we got some big sparks, and you'll notice as they go on, they'll get a little smaller. But in order to have that happen, let's put on some more drag. Drag will basically be like wind resistance, so as it flies through the air, it'll slow down. Let's go ahead and 3 to 5 on the drag, so that way we get a big burst at first and then have them sort of slow down real fast. Then I also feel like they're running a little slow, so I'm going to bump up those numbers again to -3000 and 2000 on the velocity. Press play. Boom. Okay, we're feeling a little bit more punchy, but still kind of slow, honestly. Feels like we're firing in space more than anything because of the lack of speed here. So let's go a little crazy. Let's get these numbers up to, I don't know, 8,000 and 7,000. Hop back in, press play. Oh yeah, well now we got just a bit too fast and we're almost leaving our screen. So what we need to do is add just a little bit more drag to it so we get that nice quick burst, but they slow down pretty fast too. Just playing with numbers here. 20 is probably a bit high. Let's try this. Oh yeah, you'll see that drag taking place. They blast out and then stop. So we might need to lower drag. Let's go to, let's say, 5 and 8 maybe. Yeah, let's do that. And then let's just do on the velocity. Let's do a nice 5,000 and 3,000. I feel like that's a good happy range. It's fast. It's not exactly ludicrous speed, but it's still pretty quick off the blast. Oh yeah. We're still having them slow down a little too soon, which is fine. We just need to lower their lifetime a little bit. So if we go to initialize particle, we can go to their lifetime. This is how long each one of them lives. We put it down to 0.5 and 0.8. And then we shouldn't see them. Oh, first person example map. Boom, there we go. They're still kind of surviving a bit too long. Let's make it even crazier, 0.3. A lot of particle system editing is just playing around with numbers until you find exactly what you're looking for. That looks a lot better, but the drag is still a bit high. Let's bring it down to 3 and 5. Now shoot. Okay, yeah, we're getting a little bit more of a burst there. They're blasting out. They're dying before they fall static in the air here. But we're still getting that nice strong burst off of the wall. Cool. All right, we got the strong burst going on here, but I feel like I might have made them just a bit too big, and they seem a bit ridiculously sized. So let's go ahead and bring down the size here to, I don't know, I'm like in 6, but close that. Stop the simulation so I can see them. Turn it a little bit. There you go. They're still a little big. Bring them down. There you go. Let's do 5. Yeah, they look a little bit smaller. And then let's add that gravity on to give it just a little bit more of a burst off like their actual bits. There we go. Cool. Play. Oh yeah, now they feel a lot more just like highlights rather than the main focus here. But now I think we need to add a core to the center because we're getting all this blast, but nothing's really happening dead center. So let's go ahead and add a core. In order to do that, we have a core blast. Let's add a actual like hot core to it. So let's go down to core blast. We're going to duplicate that. Stand by. Cool. Then click the gears up here, rename it to core, say core heat. I like that. What's cool is if you have currently the starter content with Unreal, you can type spark right here, and material spark should give us exactly what we're looking for in terms of a core. See if it loads for me here. Yes, so that M spark is exactly what we want, but we don't want any velocity anymore. We also don't want it to be velocity aligned. So if you click on Sprite Renderer and you turn off velocity align to unaligned, then next up you're going to want to, sorry, checking my notes. Yeah, unaligned here. Cool. Let's go ahead and make the lifetime pretty short on these. So a nice little 0.1. Oh, 0.1, not 31. 0.2. No gravity. We don't need gravity on this. We can delete gravity. We can delete drag. We can delete collision. We're going to need to bring up the size probably a little bit. So these are going to be uniform in size. So let's go to uniform on the sprite size mode. Let's bring that up pretty high. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Now we're seeing it over there. We're getting a nice little burst texture. Let's try 200. I like that. Let's turn off the scale by speed. So we should have, there we go, got a big old burst. Now what we're going to want is rather than scale it by speed, we're going to scale it the size over time. So if you click scale sprite speed after clicking plus here, you're going to go up here to the scale factor. You'll have 1 in both the X and the Y. Click this little arrow to the right here, and what we're going to type in is curve. If you type in curve, it'll give you an option for a vector 2D from curve. You're going to click that, and now you'll have a nice little curve here that we can adjust. We're just going to bring, Control Z. You're going to want to quick select all both the X and the Y axis and bring them down to, let's say, time of 0 and a value of 0. So it starts small. And then at time 1, this is a normalized lifetime. So at 0 lifetime, when it spawns, it'll be at 0. And then by the time it ends, it'll be at 1. And this will multiply. So you'll see over here now, it looks like it's moving, but it's really just increasing in size. So if we go to the shield impact, if we go to the actual gameplay, we can shoot, boom. Now we have a core where it's hitting every time. That core still feels a little pink compared to the purple, so let's see what we can do to make it a little bit more purple. Let's go to that initialized particle, and we can go down to this timeline here and hover it over the time at which it spawns so we can see it live. And then we can bring it a little bit more on that purple side, a little bit less on that red side. It's almost too blue. Give it a nice in between there. 5,000 might be a bit too bright. A little overzealous there. That looks a lot more like our color. We still get the pinkish highlights in it. Then we have all the blast out happening. Let's go back to that first system. Let's bring that velocity distribution along the cone. Now let's leave that at 0.75. Bring the cone angle up a bit. Get a little bit more of that variety in the blast. Then, let's go ahead and let's add another system. I feel like that's what we need now. It's just one more system to bring that little middle ground, because we have the big blast that's shooting out, we have the core and the little bits falling to the ground. I think we need a nice little mid shower happening right there. It seems a little desolate right now. And we're going to also make it just a little bit more pink too. So we're going to start out the bits we started out at the beginning, the directional burst. Right click, duplicate. It's going to bring in another system on the far right. Just scroll to the right. This guy right here, we're going to edit it. We're going to rename it to, let's call it the mid burst. Underscore burst. Cool, give it a nice middle ground, and then let's bring these numbers up. Say 2000. I like 2000, fun number there. Now we got a lot of purple going on, so let's go initialize. Now let's bring this one a little bit more on the pink side, so we got almost two colors, so we're not too monochromatic going on over here. And then let's take a look-see now that we have the two colors. Ooh, okay. Oh yeah, now we're getting like a nice little middle ground area, a little bit more of that pink in there. That way we're not just all purple here. A little bit crazier going on. We got a lot of bouncing. Cool. Yeah, I like this. It's real noisy, but it makes our shield look a little bit more impactful as we blast onto the side of it here. So yeah, that concludes our three-part series on setting up shield impacts in Unreal. I hope you guys found it helpful. If it did help you out in any way, I'd love if you left me some comments on the video, as well as left me any suggestions on anything you'd like to see in the future. I might do a fourth video that's sort of a bonus video on this one, where I just kind of take it as far as I can in a direction. But right now, I think this is accomplishing exactly what we need it to accomplish, which is just having a shield impact system with a shader, the logic, and the particle system set up. So thank you so much for watching all the videos, and yeah, please like and subscribe if you can. Leave me a comment with anything that you want to see in the future here. I love your guys' feedback, and it's been super awesome to hear what you guys are working on too. So let me know what you're working on in the comments and if I can help you out. Anyways, my name's Travis. Have a good one, guys.